Don't be sensitive and uptight, okay? Just go back and make up some more news,
that was
okay?
Fine.
Make up some more of those great stories. That April's got such an imagination, you know? There's nothing exciting. That's our motto in the newsroom. If it ain't going on, we'll make it up. That used to be the thing at INZ, man. If there's nothing exciting going on, they used to go up to the Santeria house on the corner and have them, like, do a little voodoo dance up there for some, like, natural disaster. Do you remember the time that there was the earthquake and the plane crash all in the same week, and they had all those signs up on the wall? Hey, great job. Let's have a lot more of this, you know. Anyway, let's go to... that's not a joke. That's a true story. Hey, cloudy and windy this afternoon with a slight chance of rain. Highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Wind northwest 20 and gusty. Chance of rain 20%. Tonight, mostly cloudy and breezy. Lows in the lower 50s. Oh, man, it's going to be cold as hell. Winds north 10 to 15. And I have to take a deep breath before this last line. Oh, they got separated. Friday, partly cloudy and breezy with a high in the upper 60s. Winds northeast 15 to 20 miles an hour and gusty. It is going to be disgusting. It's going to be cold and crappy. Atlanta reporting clear and 55. Jacksonville cloudy and 41. New York fair and 35. Great thing about the Eastern strike now, it only costs about $45,000 to fly round trip to New York now from Miami.
Amazing.
Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you. That's one thing. President Bush has really taken these things right by the horns, hasn't he? He's taken the bull by the horns, if you pardon that expression. Let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil. You were talking about ugly baseball players.
Yeah.
Glenn, you're going to run.
I was really a lot more interested in the good-looking ones, but all these people are obsessed with the ugly ones.
Well,
It always happens every time.
I have one for Glenn. He used to pitch for the Tigers. Mark the Bird Friedrich.
Yeah, Mark the Bird Friedrich was a real interesting piece of work.
And another ugly one that even had an ugly name was Boog Powell.
Boog, I remember Boog. He was from Lakeland, I think.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he looked like he was from Lakeland.
He's in Key West now.
He kind of looked like he was from Hunger.
Yeah, well, about Margot Adams.
Yes.
She reminds me more of Morticia Adams on the Addams Family. And that story about Nanette
I wonder what Grandpa would have to say about that.
I don't know. Weren't you supposed to have him on the show?
Yeah, one of these days.
About the Hirschfield Theater with Nanette Fabre.
Oh, do we have to go back into that again?
No, just let me tell you that
I'm picking through my lunch now.
It is the God's honest truth because I am a stagehand and I was working backstage and saw her rolfing into a bucket.
Really?
And about 20 minutes later, she was taken out on a stretcher, which takes the little bit of the humor out of it.
Yeah. Well, she's okay now, though, isn't she?
I believe so. One more thing. That Sports Authority spot that you have.
Yeah.
See, Henry ought to do a wine show, and they could call it the Port Authority.
Yeah. Very cute. Well, if we ever can stand him up again, we'll work on it, okay?
All right. Well, that's all my material.
Okay, have a good day.
Bye.
108 at WIOD. There's the weather map. Maybe we could do a whole new show now. We could just describe the maps from the Weather Channel.
See, we're barely in the 60s.
We're barely in the yellow for tomorrow in the 60s, which is wishful thinking, okay? Here's the forecast lows for Friday.
Night.
50s.
50s. That Thursday was today.
But they've been very optimistic, okay? In other words, when they've been saying it's going to be in the low 70s, if we get to 67, it's real lucky, okay? They've been really pushing it. I think the Chamber of Commerce is like putting pressure on the weather forecasters. I don't want to include Soper. Let's see, Boston, high of 35, partly cloudy.
Today.
Chicago, mostly sunny and a high of 42. And we're only doing 57 or 8 or 61.
Look, warmer.
Look, it's sunny and warm in Dallas, high of 64. Well, that ain't warm. Denver, sunny and 74 tomorrow. Houston, sunny and 67.
Today is Thursday.
Well, I started saying today, and you kept saying tomorrow. Now I'm saying tomorrow, and you said today. Los Angeles, 67. Miami, cloudy and 63. We should live so long. Minneapolis, partly cloudy and 45. New York, partly cloudy and 43, and it only costs $123,000 to get there on any airline you choose. Orlando, what did it say, 52?
52.
God, is that cold. Phoenix, here you go, sunny and 93 today.
Good heavens.
Okay, and St. Louis, sunny and 46. So look at this, we got a few faxes here. We got a couple of somethings. Thank you, Sharon. Ballot for baseball's ugliest. How come everybody's picking the ugliest, okay? I don't want to see ugly. Don't you understand? If I want to see ugly, I'll go home and sit and stare in the mirror all day. That's all they want to pick is ugly, because it really just, they can't pick good-looking people because it just attacks, they can't cope with it. You know what I'm saying? Gee, we don't see those things. George Foster, Louis Tiant, Davy Johnson, Tommy Lasorda, Don Zimmer gets another vote. I hope his aunt isn't listening. Willie McGee, Chris Sabo, Al Raboski, the ugly Hungarian. Remember him? He was a wild child. Steve Balboni, Joe Torre, and George Schott. Says never played, but looks like she caught foul tips with her face for years. I don't know. Oh, Marge Schott. See, the first letters are off of there. That must be the lady who owns the Reds.
It's Fred Schott's mother.
How about a theme greatest hit show this Saturday featuring only calls from the Palm Beach line?
That would.
There's another ugly team. Mike Schmidt, Greg Luzinski, Ron Say, the Penguin. No, the Penguin wasn't an ugly guy. Pete O'Brien, good-looking Jose Canseco, and Craig Biggio from Dania and Richard. See, the problem with a fax machine is you get half of the letters cut off. So it's you have to use your imagination. Yeah, Craig Biggio, trust me when I tell you. Top 5 ugliest male athletes. Pat Cummings, I have no idea who that is, do you? Oh, with the Heat. Gorilla Monsoon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Goose Gossage, there's a very good choice. The goose with that silly mustache, and Martina Navratilova. Yeah, 5 ugliest male athletes. That's cute. Let's see. Here's one from our friends at Sound Advice.
Oh, great.
Oh, this is for GTR. If at all possible, would you play Staring at the Embers by Split Ends or Under Pressure by Queen and Bowie? Thanks, Sound Advice. Well, that's nice. The only problem is that's for GTR. Don't give it to him. Get out of here. You'll pass it along.
Why not?
No, get out of here. We're not promoting GTR. Get out of there. Give me that thing. You nuts, I suppose. All the money I spend at Sound Advice, they ought to be sending us faxes, not GTR.
Well, you're not going to play those.
How do you know?
Yeah.
I think there's a better chance of us playing it than GTR. Let's see. List of possible slogans promoting National Condom Week. Oh,
that's for GTR also.
Pretty dirty stuff. No, it says bird cackle something. I don't know. It's a silly thing. Another dirty thing. A whole bunch of dirty stuff on here, okay? We're not interested in all this dirty stuff. We don't even read it. No, don't give it to them. It's going right in the waist. To hell with them, okay? After all the grief I had to go through to get my Harry Carey tape.
That really frosted my ass a little bit.
Yeah, you tell him, Harry. That's the way I felt. 12 minutes after 1 at WIOD. Now, every time that weather comes up there, I want to read it again, okay? I get this compulsion to try to read it again so you get at least some idea of the truth, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. Soper is one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to know. He's a super guy, but his idea of the weather, he's like doing the weather for Mexico City or something, all right? Out of his mind. Hey, don't forget, Telstar is offering you...
Get in touch with IOD. Now help me find a talk show that makes me happy as can be. Oh, I know there must be others and they know just how I feel. So before they all start calling, could you get me Uncle Neil? Now help me information, more than that I cannot add. Except for he gets crazy when someone makes him mad. And the bird just keeps on cackling cause he knows it's not for real. So put me through to IOD and get me Uncle Neil. More than that I cannot add. Except for he gets crazy when someone makes him mad. Now the bird just keeps on cackling cause he knows it's not for real. So put me through to IOD and get me Uncle Neil.
I don't know what he said. 118 WIOD. Yeah, Pat Rich is getting a little carried away here. Let's go to Kendall. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay, pal.
I have a question. Why do people move to Miami Beach?
Is this like a rhetorical question?
No, this is a little question that city officials asked some people, and they got a startling conclusion. You want to hear about it?
Go ahead, sir. I can't wait.
People move to Miami Beach for the beach.
Oh.
Isn't that funny?
I'll be damned. You mean they
Yeah,
probably
you know
they conducted a big study on it, probably spent about $400,000.
No, just 5,000. Of course, raised by the private sector.
Yeah.
And the
That's
average
good.
resident age?
88.
No, 35.
Yeah. And you believe that, right?
Of course, it's
Yeah.
you know
No question about it.
a major South Florida magazine article.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about?
Who wrote that? Barbara Capitman?
No,
I think there ought to be like a major TV investigation of that.
Neil, what do you think about this Eastern stuff? Unbelievable, huh?
What do you mean? What do I think about it?
It's
Well,
crazy.
what does that mean?
Well, the way Bush handled it, and
Bush isn't handling it at all.
that's what I mean.
Bush is a wimp. Don't you understand that? Bush is about as presidential as Pee Wee Herman.
I know. I'm embarrassed to say I even voted for that.
Well, I mean, I don't know what made you people think that this guy all of a sudden grew some over the summertime or something. I mean, the guy was always a wimp. He's a bigger wimp now than ever. He's busy, just putting on the pressure for his drinking buddy. It's just an embarrassment there. It's just a joke. I mean, the guy's a disaster.
Yeah.
He's only been in office less than a month now, about 3 weeks, and he's already made more mistakes than most people make in a lifetime.
I guess his honeymoon is over.
In fact, I think he could probably reduce the federal deficit if he would put a tax on every mistake that he makes.
I wonder who he was honeymooning with. That wife of his has got to go, man.
Yeah. You mean his grandmother?
Yeah.
Well, that's what America wants. Don't you remember when Reagan got in, they said that everybody wanted a father figure? I guess they want a grandmother figure.
Yeah. Jeez. Maybe
Okay.
it was with Margot.
Well, listen, I think you've been out of material for about 2 or 3 minutes, but have a great day.
Listen, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, real fast,
Can
if
you-
it's more
can-
interesting than anything else you've been saying, yes.
Can you play me the asshole song?
No. 20 after 1. I mean, I could, but we just don't have time. We're in the big 1 to 2 hour, and we got a lot of stuff to do here, okay, pal? We don't have time for stuff like that today. Davey, hello.
Yeah, Neil,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an ugly of all time. Charlie Keller, who used to play left field with the Yankees. King Kong, they used to
Yeah, I
call him.
remember him, yeah. That's about 100 years before I was born.
Yeah, but he had an eyebrows across the top of his head. He looked exactly like a gorilla.
Really?
Oh, well, he was before you were born. But
That's correct.
King Kong, that was the man.
Okay.
Take care.
Well, Fay Ray's pretty upset about it, too, okay? And Fay Wayne's not too happy. We have an open line in Broward now where that young gentleman just called in. 524-WID. I'll have some of that good spring water now. I'm starting to feel almost human again. I'm going through getting my second wind. Oh, God, man, that sudden surge of all of that food just knocks you on your butt. Anyway, let's go to Del Rey. Hello.
Hello, Steve. How you doing?
Okay. Jack, how are you?
The name's Truman, believe it or not.
Well, I liked your book In Cold Blood. It was really fascinating.
The reason I was calling it, well, several of them. Sitting here, one thing sort of struck me listening to that Marina and inflatables commercial. Why is it every time I hear inflatables, I think of Margot? I don't know why that is, but...
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. Just the two sort of go together, I guess. But the reason I was really calling is I grew up...
I think you may be blowing it out of proportion, if you know what I mean.
Okay. The reason I called originally was that I grew up in the Chicago area, and I've always followed the Chicago White Sox and Cubs to some extent. And, ugly baseball players were a trademark of Chicago.
Yeah, Sherman Lawler, I think, was one of the ugliest catchers. He and Andy Etchebarren, I think, have the catching award, and Yogi.
And, well, there was another one for the Cubs, too. As a matter of fact, two of them. There was Harry Cheedy. You remember him?
Yeah, I sure do.
And he wasn't exactly, a good face to look at. But there was people like Early Wynn and Nellie Fox with those great big jaws of tobacco.
That's right.
That was a classic. And here's the guy that was my favorite. Jungle Jim Rivera. You remember that?
Yeah, he got arrested for rape in the early 50s.
Right.
Remember that?
And, what happened? He slid. He was the first guy to really go head first on a regular
Well, we don't
basis.
want to get into that.
Well, but that's...
Oh, you mean in the second base, yeah.
Well,
and then, speaking of people getting shot or in jail, Eddie Waitkus of the Phillies, he was one of the ugliest people in history. And Willie Pudd'nhead Jones?
Yeah, that's another one.
There was a really ugly guy.
And here's the one that I think that you couldn't really call him ugly because you could never see his face, especially the night games. Minnie Minoso.
He was talking about guys named Minnie and Nellie and Pudd'nhead.
Well, a lot of these guys were
Is that really
Nellie,
what you're saying?
That's right. And Hank Sauer. That was another
Hank
one.
Sauer was another one, and Hank Bauer with the Yankees, who was my favorite player when I was a kid. Hank Bauer.
Right, and Walt Dropo. His
Moose
ears were
Dropo,
just like his name.
There's another Moose for you, by the way, for your Moose collection. So we got Moose Gower and Moose Dropo. I guess the two of them make Meese.
Okay. Now, well, let me say one other thing here. I can't believe nobody has hit on this yet. And
football just doesn't have the class and the color that baseball does. You know, football, most guys, I mean, there are nicknames, but not like in...
not like in baseball.
Not like in baseball.
You don't hear any puddinhead.
I mean, we don't have an Icky Schwartz, for example, but we got some pretty wild baseball players.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to hear Nellies in football.
Well, there's a few Nellies in football, believe me. That's what Dave Cope said. Anyway.
Well, they got Crystal Glass or somebody like that.
And Crystal Gale, yeah. Okay, well, listen, you've been a really informative caller, pal, and you're right on target. And if you like the White Sox, man, you're right. Ugly as the day is long.
Right. Oh, can I ask you just one brief question?
In fact, you got to be ugly to play on the team.
Nobody's hit on this, and I can't believe it. When the Eastern pilots walked off the line,
yes, sir.
All the other pilots from all the other airlines, I think maybe I heard this wrong, but didn't they tell us that, hey, in sympathy, we're now going to fly safe?
Yeah. They're just stalling a little bit.
Oh, is that what it is?
Most of the people are used to that anyway, so what's the big deal?
Oh, because I never used to be too scared until they told me now that I've been flying all these years unsafe, you know.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was just what I had today.
Okay, well, listen, you've been quite a caller, believe me. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot.
124 at WIOD. That was on the Boca line. I'll be damned, man. We are really picking up some serious steam now because it's the big 1 to 2 hour.
Obviously.
278-9463. 278-WIOD on America's only radio show where you also get the Weather Channel thrown in as kind of a bonus. No extra charge. Now we have a little something from the fax machine. Ugliest, number 1, Billy Martin. Number 2, Yogi Berra. Yeah, Billy had a schnoz that could stop St. Louis. There's no question about that. Anyway, speaking of that, if you have a big schnoz, don't bother to come by on Sunday. But if you look almost human, we certainly invite you to come out to Toyota of Hollywood with Stephen. 128 at WIOD. Here's another good vote on the fax machine. Says the ugliest man ever to put on a baseball uniform is none other than No-Neck Williams, former Detroit Tiger.
No-Neck?
Yeah.
Well, these names.
It's a good vote, but No-Neck played most of his very brief, illustrious career with the Indians. Walter No-Neck Williams. And I think also a little with the White Sox. Not that they wanted him to play, but he was ugly enough, and the White Sox liked those ugly guys, okay? The White Sox had a guy named Jim Brideweezer. Who was astonishingly, shockingly ugly, okay? And that's what takes to qualify to play for the White Sox. Harry Carey, by the way, used to be easily forgotten because he was so many years with the Cardinals and now for many years with the Cubs. But in between was with the White Sox.
That really frost my ass a little bit.
Which is why he left.
Now, you said about a half hour ago that Joe Graziola is no longer...
Graziola to you.
He's no longer doing the play-by-play?
CBS has got the contract, okay? So Mr. Scully, he works anywhere that they'll hire him. He's moving from NBC to CBS because he always does golf on CBS.
Yeah, well, this is really a shame.
And he's doing the games with Tom Seaver for 1 year.
I see, because it used to be when Joe used to do the baseball games, you know, when they would have a rainy day.
Yeah.
And they would remove the tarp from the field, and they used to remove the tarp from his head at the same time.
That is correct.
Those were the days.
In fact, when the lights would go out in the stadium, they used to use the reflection of the camera on Joe's dome in order to keep the broadcast on the screen to get the lighting. Broward, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Just great, pal.
Can you hear me on this payphone here?
I sure can.
Listen.
Can hear those quarters jiggling, too. Are you sure it's a payphone, sir?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I could get the operator on here for you.
All right.
Listen, if you want to talk about ugly, you really got to turn to hockey. You know, I know people down here can't relate to that, but I know you remember Ed Johnstone.
I remember Eddie Shack.
Remember Ed Johnstone from the Rangers?
But Eddie Shack had him beat. Eddie Shack had him all beat, okay? He had a schnoz that would kill Detroit.
Listen.
And Johnny Bauer was ugly, too.
How's
but that's before you were born, sir.
Most likely. Listen, couple other things. I forgot. No, I wanted...
Put another quarter in, sir. The movies will continue.
I wanted to know if you saw Jamie Lee Curtis in Trading Places.
No.
The other day?
No.
She's got large breasts for a man.
That is correct. She has bigger breasts than the guy. What was his name that played Ron Ely?
Ron St. John?
Ron St. John. We found a gigantic poster picture of Ron St. John in the building. We brought it here in the studio.
Life size.
Oh,
and, yeah. And when I leave here, I'm going to go home today on A1A.
Speaking of this Margot thing,
if you never heard WA1A with Ron St. John, you just wouldn't understand what that means. Your music way.
Did you guys know that oral sex is illegal in New Jersey?
Really? Well, that's why Margot's been making the rounds in all the other states, I guess.
She can really make some money up there.
Okay.
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about these Jewish players.
Did Ron work here next door at WA1A, your music way? Come on, Nick, get with it. What's that, sir?
That Jewish ball player they were telling you about?
Yeah.
I think they were talking about Moses Malone.
Yeah, that's the one. Mm-hmm.
Have a good weekend.
Okay, you too, pal.
Bye-bye.
And his brother, Moishe Fisher. It's 1:32 at WIOD. Wade Boggs isn't Jewish. That's one of the silliest things I ever heard, okay? That's like saying that Mickey Mendel is Jewish. Anyway, I think we'll do the break now because it's one of our very impotent sponsors. It's then 1:37 at WIOD.
Everybody who's for abortion was at one time themselves a feces.
Okay, well, I can certainly relate to that. Let's go to Deerfield. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
How you doing?
Hi, Glenn.
Hi.
Haven't called in a while. I wanted to tell you why. I don't want to call my friend a douchebag. I don't have a story about an old hag. I don't want to know if there's one or two ends. I don't want to tell you to get rid of Glenn. I don't want to know what car's in the lot. I don't want to ask you what's a white hot. I don't want to ask how much weight you have shed. I don't want to ask if your Corvette is red. I won't ask if your puppy finally got trained. I won't ask if the pothole filled up when it rained. I don't want to give you a blue hair report. I won't tell you a story and just keep it short. I don't want to ask how you're doing today. In fact, I don't have a damn thing to say.
Great.
Bye.
Okay, excellent. Good job. Boy, that was good.
Was a good job.
1:37 at WIOD. I think the music fits in with that poetry, don't you?
Yeah, very
I think we
nice.
ought to send Maury Pupik out to her house to investigate that.
That'll go back to the guy that called about the word Pupik. Maury Pupik.
Yeah.
We forgot
there
to
you
tell
go.
him that.
On Current Affair.
Yeah.
Maury was not there last night. I think we ought to have an investigation for that.
On Inside Story.
Oh, is that for real on that call?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Hi, welcome to the Sandy Payton Show.
Hi. Oh, yeah, I'd like to talk to Sandy Payton.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay. Hello? Hello? This is the wrong number.
Who are you calling?
I thought I was calling 524-9463.
Boy, you're not even close. How did you wind up calling here?
I have no
idea.
idea.
Do you know who this is?
It's, I guess it's the other number.
Yeah, this is that terrible guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Do you know my name?
I know your name right now. I'm like speechless.
Yeah, this is Neil.
Neil Rogers.
Oh,
Sure.
my God. Boy, I guess you really struck out today, huh?
Yeah.
Well, don't feel bad about it, okay? Could have been worse.
No, I enjoy you. Yeah,
Okay.
until sometimes you get a little bit too much, but I enjoy
I
you.
know. Well, listen, give Sandy a big kiss for us, okay? Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
1:39 at WIOD, where even the Sandy Payton listeners call in. 21 till 2. Boy, Sandy's going to be really PO'd about that. She's going to have some consternation about her calls coming in here. Okay. Now, she sounded like a very nice lady, but a little on the older side. You know what I mean?
That really frosts my ass a little bit.
Yeah, that's what Sandy said. Okay, let's go to Oakland Park. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil.
Yep.
I was thinking.
Oh, this is Sandy.
Sandy. Listen, I was thinking of a guy I like in the National League.
A guy you like in the National League? Really?
He's sort of cute. I think his name is Tommy Lala Sorda. I heard Margot likes him. She smokes a cigar. Hey, Bertie.
And eats lots of pasta, too, I think, huh?
Yeah. Hey, Bertie.
Yeah.
Butch up, okay?
Yeah. I like this coming from you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Boy, talk about the pot calling the kettle lavender.
Okay, you guys have a good weekend, okay?
You too, sweetie. Bye. Wow.
Oh, boy.
1:40 at the WIOD, where we just, these 2 days, yes, I was wrong about today, by the way. At the beginning I got a little nervous, but this has been another amazing performance, okay? It really has. No, I'm serial. Especially that guy who called in about Nanette Fabre. West Palm Beach, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Listen, you're giving the temperatures all over the country. What should you give it for the Canadians?
Okay, let's see. It's 87 and sunny in Toronto.
Good.
102 and beautiful in Montreal, man. They can bask in the sunshine. Ottawa, 91 and sunny. Not a cloud in the sky. St. Catharines, 88, perfectly clear.
great.
Richard Nixon is visiting Niagara Falls, Ontario, where it's always perfectly clear. 88 today, folks. Time to head back.
I love it.
See, they could be enjoying that nice, warm Canadian weather, and they're down here freezing their asses off.
Ian, they might have to turn the heat on.
And I got news for you, man. Frank Lorenzo's got those Eastern planes cranked up across the Canadian border, man, ready to take you folks home.
Yes, sir.
At very low rates.
Listen, I want to
With
talk
some
about
juvenile pilots under the age of 12.
Listen, I want to talk about and I don't know what it is. The local radio station WJNO seems to have a
Did you say the yokel radio station?
Well, that may be, but
that would have been right on target.
Where are they getting all their people? They all seem to come from Miami and go there, then they go elsewhere.
It's called rejects. They get all the rejects.
We follow. See, the reason I hired him is a good reason. See, and I used to work at Century Village. First of all, in West Palm Beach. First of all, you got to talk loud to these people. You understand?
Yeah, most of them can't afford a hearing aid.
Absolutely. Now, if you were to walk in the clubhouse, this is no joke, okay? There's they got benches for all the Alta Bubbas and the Alta They're schmooze. That's all. They sit there on the long benches. Looks like sort of death row, you know what I mean? They're just waiting, see? And they got the little radios with the headphones, without
that would be a great name for a book. There's more than one death row in Florida.
There sure is. They just renamed them, that's all. They call it Century Village Boca, Century Village West Palm. You know.
And Winmore.
Winmore.
Don't forget about Winmore, pal.
Well, listen, here we have another called Crest Haven. That's another story.
Even the living are buried in Winmore.
I was doing a show. This is a true story. Fowler, has a penchant, which I think is so unprofessional, for calling other talk show hosts at his station on the air,
Oh, my God. That is really crass,
I was doing a show as a guest on another program at JNO, seriously, about a month ago. So we're talking about something entirely has to do with cable TV, as a matter of fact. So what happens, we're getting is that all of a sudden...
You're not with that Comtel or
Comcast?
Comcast.
I was at one time.
I see.
But that's another story.
Okay.
How'd you know?
I don't know, because I know it's one of the companies up there.
It sure is. Anyway, I used to work for them. But anyway, tell us that, and all of a sudden, we follow calls on the hotline, see? And, of course, they put him on right away. He starts... How you doing? He's talking to the other talk show host, and he's talking about something entirely. I mean, the man is just himself.
He's incredible. He can't control himself.
Unbelievable. Where did he come from?
Where did he come from? Hunger.
Well, listen, keep it up, and it's nice having some. On the news station on the wonderful Isle of Dreams, as they call it. It's nice to hear the audience is under 100.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Have a good life.
Okay.
Bye.
Say hi to Lee for us.
All right.
143 at WIOD. That was a chronic guest on Palm Beach County Talk Shows. He was a good guy, though, but he's a chronic guest, I guess. 655 WIOD. You'll never, ever get on before we leave, but it would sure be refreshing and exciting to see that line flash again. And just as I said that, one of the Broward lines went out. Okay, here's a mobile in Broward. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
You get a lot of callers with these English accents calling in all the time, and I just want to let you know that 9 out of 10 of them are just the worst imitations of a British accent that I've ever heard.
Like this one?
Well, no. Listen. There are 3 questions that you can screen these calls from now on.
Okay.
Now, if they're from England, they would know the answer to these questions.
Okay.
All right, number 1. What is the English equivalent of the McDonald's Shane hamburgers? The McDonald's Shane, there's an English equivalent.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's Wimpy's.
Wimpy, yeah.
Wimpy's.
I think Wimpy describes a lot of British royalty, as a matter of fact.
It's called Wimpy's.
In fact, maybe George Bush spent too much time in England. Is that possible?
It's possible.
Too many meals at Wimpy's, George.
Wimpy's? Like the guy in Popeye who used to eat the hamburgers.
Yeah. Exactly. That's where they got it from, okay? They stole it from us like everything else.
I see.
Right.
Since that war, man, they've never been the same again.
Right. Number 2. Now, in cricket, if someone says the score...
Yeah, that's one of my favorite sports.
It is. It's a good sport.
Oh, yeah.
In cricket, if the score is
it's almost as good as curling.
What's that?
I say I really enjoy it.
It's a good sport.
Yeah.
It's a little slow, but it's a good sport.
Yeah, like most of the British, it's a little slow.
Well, yeah, you could say that. All right, if the score is 245 for 3, what does it mean?
Let me tell you, the British are the only people in the world who have sex on Monday and have an orgasm on Thursday, okay?
That's true. That's true, but it lasts through Sunday.
That is true. Okay, now what is the question in cricket?
In cricket, if the score is 245 for 3, what does that mean?
And what's the answer?
Well, that means it's 245 runs for 3 wickets, like 3 outs.
Wickets.
Oh, yeah. Wimpy wickets, okay.
Right.
And what's number 3?
Number 3, what is a wally And where would you buy one?
A Wally?
Yeah.
I thought that was on Leave It to Beaver.
No. This is a Wally. And that is a large gherkin.
Oh, excuse me.
And it could be purchased at any fish and chip shop in
I bet you
England.
Prince Edward wishes he had one of those, pal.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
And that can be
And so
purchased.
does the whole Royal British Navy, too.
Right. And that can be purchased from any fish and chip shop in England.
Oh, boy.
Now, anyone from England
One thing about
would know
that
the
British
answer.
cuisine, man, I think that explains a lot about you guys' behavior, okay? That incredible British cuisine.
Oh, you've never had a good shepherd's pie,
Oh, man.
or any of that good stuff.
Oh, yeah, I feel like Nanette Fabre all of a sudden.
Jelly deals. I mean, you haven't lived till you've had jelly deals.
Well, I'll hold off, okay, until I'm just ready to take my last gasp. Okay, thanks for the
Can I just
tip,
call my
pal.
friend Lee a douchebag?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
As Margot Adams would say, thanks for the tip.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
See you later. 146 at WIOD, and we can't talk about Wimpies now, but we can't talk about Charhut, okay?
Great.
We're sorry that we can't recommend the nearest Wimpies and all those fish and chips and all those horrendous, shepherd's pie.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Yikes.
But anyway, Charhut is... It's 150 at WIOD, and this thing about British royalty, I've always been confused because I wondered why you can be born... For example, if the king gets married, then his wife is the queen, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the queen gets married, like, what is her husband's name? I can never think of Queen Elizabeth's husband's name. What is it? Yeah. Mr. Bland. I mean, he's like totally without any personality at all. What is it? No, he's not the king. He's not the king. So, as Elvis once said, he said almost anybody can be a queen, but only a very select few can be king. That's what Elvis said.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what is his name anyway? Oh, the Duke of Windsor? No, he's not the Duke of Windsor. No, he's not. Is he? The Duke of Windsor was the one that was married to Wallace Warfield, and he gave up the throne, so to speak. Wasn't it? He's not the Duke of Windsor. That's like when he said that, Dennis Eckersley was the new coach of the Hurricanes.
Yes.
Nick is I think he's catching it from you or something. It's not the Duke of Windsor.
There's no cure
Duke
for
of
that.
Windsor was married to Wallace Warfield, right? Isn't that correct? Boy, none of you people know anything about Prince Philip. That's it. He's not the Duke of Windsor. He does have some other official name like that, like Duke of Earl or something like that.
Yeah. Duke.
Okay, Miami, hello.
Hello?
Duke of Mass, I think it is. Yes.
Hi, Neil.
Yeah.
Listen. Now, please don't hang up on me.
Yeah.
I called you earlier about Nanette.
No, I can't talk to you twice in the same day, sir. Please, spare me the pain. I mean, your first call was embarrassing enough. Miami, hello.
Neil.
In fact, Fat Rich's pacemaker just went off in that call. Yes.
Neil, I think he's also called a royal consort.
Well, excuse me.
I beg your pardon. Anyway.
No, isn't that Prince Philip?
Yeah, he's Prince.
But it is true, though. I mean,
It's like an honorary title.
But that's right. It's not a joke, though. When the king, if somebody inherits the throne and becomes king, then when he gets married, his wife is the queen.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But if the queen gets married, her husband doesn't become the king because he's not part of the bloodline.
He's not in the royal.
Kind of like horses, you know. That's why you notice that the queen and her family are all heavily into horses. I think there's a little more there than meets the eye. Anyway, go ahead.
I have a question of the week for you.
I noticed that got the caller thinking. You notice there was a long pause?
I have a question of the week for you from a priest, Father Gay Toulouse. He's called the traveling priest for obvious reasons.
Yes.
He wanted to know just how sturdy Jack really is.
Well, he'll have to find that out for himself, sir.
Yes.
Excellent question.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick.
He'll have to go see a Tom Cruise movie to find out for himself.
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
See ya.
Take care.
153 at WIOD, and let's move right along.
Yeah, quickly.
To Miami. Hello.
Hi, it's Wallace Simpson, by the way.
Wallace Simpson. What did I say?
Wallace Warfield.
Wallace.
It's Wallace Simpson, Duke of Edinburgh.
But she had three names. I'm telling you, Wallace Warfield Simpson. I think she was married twice or something. She had three names.
That's why she wasn't accepted, because she was a divorce.
But her first husband's name was Simpson, and her name was Warfield.
Oh,
or the other way around.
It could have been. Well, ta-ta.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Bye.
Wow. 153 at WIOD. You never read that book about the prince who would be queen or whatever the name of that thing was? You don't remember that? Reading about it? I mean, it was before we were both born.
No, not at all.
But he was going to be the king, Duke of Windsor, and then he fell in love with Wallace.
Yeah, of course I do
Simpson,
remember
Puppet,
that.
Diana Gonzalez, DeRuthie Schwartz.
That's right. That's a famous.
Yeah, very famous story and one of the great love stories of all time. And he abdicated the throne.
Correct.
To run off with Wallace.
That's correct. Now I do.
George Wallace.
Yeah.
Deerfield, hello.
Neil Bird.
Yes, sir.
Good Yontif. Shalom Aleichem.
Yes, sir. And happy Shavuos to you, too.
What's with the guy with the Nanette Fabre? May his blood turn to whiskey so that 100 bedbugs get drunk on it and dance the mazurka in his belly button.
Yeah.
May he and Shelley Fabre or Nanette Fabre or whatever Fabre
or Shelley Fabre
be known for their hospitality to God's creatures, lice, rats, bedbugs, fleas, worms, and maggots. I like to call my buddy Joe, my pilot instructor, a major douchebag.
Okay, sir. Well,
good suckets, shalom.
Just like George Foster there, you covered all the bases, sir, as ugly as you may be. 155 at WIOD. Let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hello. Hey, Neil.
Yep.
How you doing, dude?
Okay, pal.
Hey, Bird. How you doing?
Fine.
I think you got a great laugh in defense of that Canadian that called you before.
Don't get all bent out of shape about the Canadian, okay?
No,
He's upset because when he drove back home, he had to pay a toll on the Peace Bridge.
The answer to your question of who she married was the Lord of Schmendrick.
Yeah, that's who it was.
That's who it was. I got a little trivia thing for you. Just 3 questions, but they get harder. They get tougher as you go.
They get harder. I noticed you changed the terminology there. Don't worry, Margot is not back in the studio, okay?
Okay, the first one's easy. Who hit the most home runs?
Who hit the most home runs what? In their career?
Modern. Yeah, in their career.
Hank Aaron.
Okay.
Well, is that supposed to be a tough question? I mean, this is like juvenile jury?
They get harder.
Okay.
Number 2.
That's what Wade kept telling Margot, but it never happened.
And who got the most bases on balls?
Babe Ruth.
No, that was Eddie Stanky.
Get out of here.
Brooklyn Dodgers. No, really.
No, Eddie Stanky didn't get the most bases on balls. You're out of your mind.
Okay, the last one's the hardest.
Where did you come up with that?
I read it.
No, get out of here. That's not right.
Okay, the last one's the hardest. Who got hit in the head with the most balls?
I think this caller, to be honest with you. 156 at WIOD. Lauderhill, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Okay.
Look, I took your advice because I'm getting really sick of this Sunshine Network crap. I got Continental Cable Vision.
Oh,
okay?
boy. Good luck to you, pal.
Well, listen, I gave him a call today for the first time. I got off my ass and did it. So the lady over there got a little pissed off. And can I quote what she said to me?
Yeah.
If you have to dump it.
No, well, don't say something you know I'm going to have to dump. I
well,
mean,
it's not bad. She goes, I go, yeah, I'm calling from Lauderhill. I want the Sports Channel, and I'm sick of the Florida Sunshine Network. She goes, well, who gave you the idea to call?
Oh, boy.
And I go, well, I'm a listener with the local radio personality. And she goes, Neil Rogers, right? She goes, you don't have to say anymore. And I quote, where does this asshole get off doing this blank? What am I supposed to do? I get verbally abused, and I'm calling my cable company.
Well, I would call and talk to one of the supervisors there at Continental and tell them that you got that kind of treatment. I mean, you're paying
I'm paying
bill.
bucks.
Yeah, you're paying. I'm paying serious bucks. I'm going to call when I get home.
Yeah, because I'm
going to tell them the next time that they're rude to any of my callers. See, where I get off doing it is that we have Sports Channel of Florida buying advertising, and their message, the thrust of what they're doing, is to try to get public support. And they, if they get enough people to call the various cable systems, public demand will dictate that they're going to have to eventually more and more put on the Sports Channel of Florida because people want it and they want the programming. So she hasn't got any business. She hasn't got any business treating you like that. And I'm going to call Continental Cable when I get home today and chew them a good ass, okay? Because I got the number and the names of some of the stupid advisors over there, and they got no business treating customers like crap. That's the problem with cable operators, man. They got a monopoly in every community, and they figure if you don't like what they're giving you, drop dead, go to hell, and stick it in your ear, okay?
Neil Bird, thanks a lot. I got to call my friend Chris, a douchebag.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Boy, does that? You know what that does?
That really frosts my ass a little bit.
That's right, Harry. Boy, does that really piss me off.
He should tell the same story to somebody.
Yeah, when he calls and talks to the supervisor. I mean, all we're doing is passing a message along and letting the public know the facts. I mean, we're supposed to keep it a secret that the Sunshine Network has an incestuous relationship with the most of the cable operators. They got a piece of the action. And as a result, they're trying to keep the Sports Channel of Florida off and put them out of business and keep the public from getting to see the Heat games and the Hurricane games and NHL hockey and all that other stuff. And speaking of that, there's Joe, who tonight's going to leave this place so meticulously clean, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be incredible. Now, let me ask you, when you came in here, was this book like over on the floor? It was right there? Okay, so afterward, we've got some Schmendrick who comes in here like late at night. We've got a mysterious phantom Schmendrick who comes in late at night and messes with the crap in the studio, man. And we're going to come in and just beat the living daylights out of him, okay?
That's right.
We'll stick Jose Canseco on his butt. Okay, well, that's going to do it for today. Stick around the Calle Ocho boycott, which is going to be some more incredible contrived controversy on the Kane Show coming up with a panel, a distinguished panel. And Denise de Calaf, who's the Brazilian singer who's been banned because she visited Cuba. She had the unmitigated gall to go there 10 years ago, okay? And she still has a picture of Fidel hidden somewhere deep in God only knows where. And that's going to be coming up at 2. And then, of course, Sports Talk. It's Hurricane Hotline with Joe and Sonny at 6:05 tonight. And when they leave this studio, man, you'll be able to eat off the floor, okay? Of course, one time they left it and you could eat coleslaw off the floor, but that's another story.
I remember that.
I know.
Yeah.
It was Steve. We know. Okay, listen, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, I guess, right? Isn't that generally? More or less, whenever the hell we feel like it, here on 610 WIOD.
WIOD, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. News, weather, traffic, and Mike Ranieri. Tomorrow morning on News Talk Radio 610 WIOD. Depend on it.